let's make sure we do 1,000. Even if we don't do it in 33 minutes, we got to do 1,000 now because we said we're going to do it. So we got to stick with it now.
So we're doing 1,000 push-ups right here, right now. Before we get into the show, that's how we do it, bro. Let's get it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. When you're creating something new, you're going to have new ideas that start popping off, right? And then you have to decide, when are we going to do this? This entire framework didn't exist 24 hours ago, but it's coming to life today. You know, often we wait so long to actually make something happen. We take forever. We say, this is a good thing, let's do it tomorrow. I believe that imperfect action that is executed today is a million times better than sometimes potentially will make it happen perfectly tomorrow. So today we have episode 0 of the Ascend show. The game plan for today. First part is we're going to have Sach come in. He's almost here. Then we are going to go straight into an Ascend training. He has no idea what he's coming into. And what we're going to do, we're going to attempt to do 1,000 push-ups in 33 minutes. Now, most humans have a hard time doing 50 push-ups in a row. We're going to go for 1,000 in 33 minutes. Once we are done with the training, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a deep conversation about how he would get from rock bottom and changing his life if he only had 33 days to do that. What's going on, brother?
Nice to meet you.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Ascend experience, brother.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Guys, so we have Sach here. Man, let's go.
All right, man.
Let's go. So yeah, come this way.
Sounds good.
This is welcome to my place here. So this is right now we're going through a little mission. That's why we have so many stuff on the wall everywhere.
It's good, man.
Yeah, it's just
keep you accountable.
yeah. So actually right now we're on 33 days to change your life. Where I've been waking up at 3:33 a.m. every single morning. I've been doing like 33,000 steps, a couple of different stuff.
Hey man, consistency is
building, bro. Right? So welcome. We're gonna be over here. This is where we're kind of getting set up and everything.
Good, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's nice in here.
Yeah,
Good
thank
setup,
you.
man.
How much did you run?
21.
So this guy, 21K.
Yeah.
This guy did a quick run, 21K this morning.
Hey man, I got to keep up with this guy.
You see what I'm saying? This is who we bring for day 0 for Podcast 0. 21K, nothing. I love that, bro.
Yeah, and then after I'm done here, I'll do another 21.
Another 21 today.
Yeah. I'm gonna get home.
You know what? Can I do it with you?
I mean, if you want to. You know what we can do? Let's schedule another time where we can do that. Because I can come down here and then we can go to the seawall and crush
Okay.
I don't know. What do you
Bro,
want to do?
I feel like with the energy.
33?
Yes. Let's do 33K.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah,
let's fucking go.
schedule it, man.
Let's go.
I'm down.
All right, guys, we're going to do 33K. I was ready to do it right now today, but you know what? Let's do it 33.
Okay.
Hell yeah. So what we're going to do is our first challenge, which is we're going to do right here in the dojo. We're going to do 1,000 push-ups in 33 minutes.
Okay.
How does that feel?
I don't know. I'll do my best.
Me too. I'm gonna do my best. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
First of all, I want to just dive a couple stuff deeper into your mindset. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you told me when we first spoke that the biggest thing for you was a shift in mind because you were going through a tough time mentally.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, I was going through some personal issues, mental health, and anxiety, depression, and I think for me. And I think I've noticed you talking about this too, because I was going through your platform a little bit. Yeah. And purpose, man. It's all about purpose. Yes. Once you kind of find a purpose, then it was easy. I mean, it wasn't easy. But once you got the purpose, then the process just falls into place when it needs to.
Absolutely. I call it the purpose energy. You can call it whatever you want, but it's that purpose where now it's like, for me, I feel it's like the limitless energy. It's a limitless pill because now you have, when you wake up in the morning with no purpose, but you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to get out of bed.
No.
No, and if you think of like people who are extremely depressed, it's repressed out of that purpose. So therefore, what do? Do you sleep less? No, you sleep more, right? And you're just there and you don't want to get up. But when you have high level of purpose, which actually in Greek, ways of seeing it back in the day, they call it telos. Telos is a study of purpose, and it's actually the purpose energy. When people had high levels of purpose, they just woke up with this thing that people didn't know what to call it, so they called it telos.
Well, the question is then, how does someone define their purpose? Because you can just throw that word around all day.
Absolutely. Oh,
right?
yeah.
People say that shit all the time.
Yes.
But how do you define your purpose, and
Yes.
then how do you apply a level of conviction and then velocity to that purpose?
Yes. That's it. So I think that's going to be the conversation today.
It's simple,
yes,
but it's not.
Yeah. And one thing when it comes to conviction, you only start getting conviction when you start getting levels of confidence within yourself, right? You start feeling real confident, and confidence only comes from competence. When you start actually being competent into something, then you can start feeling real confidence. You're putting action every single day.
Yeah, so then your level of confidence will deepen
Yes.
the longer you do that.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, you're doing it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Cool, you might have a little bit of confidence.
Right.
But you don't know what kind of confidence someone actually can possess over a 5 and 10 year period of doing that shit every single day.
Facts.
So when you're doing that every single day, your level of purpose gets to a point where, well, for me, I'm only limited by my imagination now.
So, you know, there was a video that went viral that I actually saw, and it said this guy does 1,000 push-ups a day, in a day, and they had 1 million. So I'm like, you know what, we're going to do that in a day. We're going to do it, not in 12 hours, we're going to do it in less than 1 hour.
1,000 in a day is easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And the video had so many views. The guy was like, yo, I'm going to do 1,000 a day. And then I was like, you know what, bro, what is this?
Well, if you break it down, right? Okay, if you were to, let's say if you were to do 10 every, I don't know, 2 minutes. Okay. How many push-ups can you do then?
Exactly.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad. In a day, it's nothing.
It's easy.
It's nothing. It's easy. Warming up. All right, guys, this is the first ascent. We're doing 1,000 push-ups. Let's see how we can get it. The goal is in 33 minutes, but regardless,
As fast as we can do it.
Sach and I are we're gonna get it done. So what I'm gonna do here.
Understand what your body's going through, so you then can lower your heart rate. So, for example, if you've never done 1,000 push-ups before, you're gonna freak out. Your heart rate's gonna go up, and you're gonna be all lamped up, jumping around and shit. Now your heart rate's already at an elevated state. If you've done shit before, okay. I've done hard things.
And I'm actually just kind of, as I'm doing it, I'm like listening to what he's saying. I'm learning from that. I'm just doing here, and I'm also just kind of like every push-up. I'm like, feels so good. And then I'm like in an own movie.
And it's good that you open the window because now you can cool down.
Yeah.
And your heart rate won't go as high.
Yeah.
So you can kind of manage that.
Halfway to 1,000. Feeling good. Alright, man. Hit 1,000 push-ups. Okay. Hit 1,000 push-ups. Is it time? 32:50.
Nice work, bro.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. 10 seconds left, huh?
So now, in a week or two, you can do it under 30.
Under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just did it.
Oh, yeah.
First time ever.
Yeah.
You did, what was it, like 31, 32 minutes? How long?
So I had, how much time did I have left? 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 10 seconds left.
30 minutes?
No, because it's 33 minutes. So I did it in 32 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh, nice. I've been at this every single day for 4 years.
Yeah.
Every single fucking day for 4 years.
100%.
Running. So if you were to do that, you'd probably do way better than me. Right? That's the reality.
I mean,
as long as you're doing something consistently over a period of time.
Yeah. And I think what I was going to say is that if I didn't, the last 23 days, I didn't do this, I don't think, I know for a fact I actually wouldn't have done it with this much ease. Yeah, it just feels good, and I'm actually going to challenge myself. I'm going to challenge myself to do this in 22 minutes. but I'm not going to do it right away. I'm going to kind of get myself to that stage to do 22 minutes, 1,000 push-ups in 22 minutes. But I'm gonna take it. You know, I'm not going to try to eat the whole mountain, but I know that I can push myself to do it in 30 minutes. I did it in 32 minutes right now.
Here's an awesome thing, really awesome that you've done this now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now people can see what you did on day one.
Yeah.
Now you can kind of do something, let's say another month, with consistency of effort.
Yeah.
And a purpose to beat that goal.
Yeah.
Now people can see you in another month say, oh, fucking another month, you just did this every single day. Now we did it in this much time.
Yeah.
Showing people
the progress, the consistency.
Because you can talk about it, but it's also another thing to show people and demonstrate it.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Absolutely, bro. Let's go, man. Welcome to the Ascend experience. So to put everything in context, we just finished our first feat here. We did 1,000 push-ups, and it was nice. It was a nice challenge.
Hey, you crushed it, man. I was a slow turtle. It took me a bit longer, but you did it, man. It was awesome. I watched.
Honestly, I was feeling good. I was feeling good. Just doing it, and like I said, it's like at the end of it, I started just enjoying other things like the air. Like I really started enjoying it. And sometimes when you challenge yourself, you start finding those things that you take for granted. Mm-hmm. So it was good. And I think everything that you've been talking about was inspiring me too. So I have to say thank you to you
well, hey,
for that's the inspiration, bro.
But that's the point, right? Like we at least this is how I function, right?
Tell me.
I function by synergistic benefit, right? So like if I'm helping someone or someone's helping me, that means really we're helping each other, right?
100%.
And it's so I kind of try to live my life that way.
Yeah.
So that we can move in a positive direction for everyone. What's the saying? The rising tide raises all ships, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're lucky to have Cigar Connoisseur here, and they have like some of the best cigars. And what's awesome is that they actually set this up specifically for you.
Oh, no way.
Yes, yeah. And so these are the cigars that we're going to enjoy over here.
Amazing. I feel special now.
You are special, brother.
What I was saying earlier is basically a lot of people do whatever they're doing, right? Like either be work, fitness, whatever. People kind of get into a groove and they become really dogmatic and they kind of stick with that thing day after day after day after day. Mm-hmm. Pattern interrupts are necessary in life, I think, to shake you up and start thinking about other things. So, for example, I don't smoke cigars, but I'll pattern interrupt it and see what's going on. If I enjoy it, cool. Maybe I'll start exploring that sort of space and maybe enjoy it a bit and go down that, or not. And if I don't, that's cool. At least I tried it, and there we go.
Absolutely.
Have you tried it before?
Cigars, yeah.
Oh.
But you know, we're with a group of people hanging out, doing a podcast. So let's step into it even more.
Yeah. So these are called macanudos. So he told me, make sure you have something in your body, like not be faster. So we had some protein. That's it. He's like, these ones are actually from all the ones that he's given me, because I've been, I guess, a customer of his, and he's like, this is a special one for you to experience. So yeah, looking forward to it. So with Ascend, right, we have had a lot of different experiences with the number 33. So 33 days experience. I'm currently on one. If you were in a position where you lost everything that you have right now and you had to build yourself up from the very beginning, and you said, okay, I'm going to set myself up for 33 days to change my life. Can you just start thinking about the framework and what are the stuff that you would start thinking about? What does that look like? And somebody who's in that position and they say, you know what, they start believing in themselves a bit and they said, okay, I'm going to go in for 33 days.
That was a good question. I don't have to imagine, because that happened to me 4 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I had to start from scratch.
Okay.
I was going through a separation, divorce, dealing with significant mental health issues because of that, and then also work-related things. 18 years in law enforcement. So yeah, I started from ground zero, no money. You know, I went through a divorce because, you know, I was the squeaky wheel. I wasn't probably the best husband on the planet. So the ex-wife made a decision to say, hey, you know, I'm good.
No.
And then I started thinking about, okay, how do I take ownership of my life and the things that I've created and done and move in a positive direction? So that's what I started thinking, okay, where do I get ownership from? How do I do that? And for me, it was like, you know, trying to find taking responsibility of the things that I was doing in life so that I can move forward in a positive direction. So what did that mean? Well, I didn't really get any money out of the divorce because I was responsible for a lot of the things. So I was like, how do we own that? Okay, we don't sell it, the house. You can keep the house, or maybe I get a small amount out of it, which wasn't nearly the amount if we were to sell it. So then that would be set up. So taking responsibility, ownership. Okay, cool. I'll move on. I'll take responsibility, and then start moving in a direction. Now, what does that mean? So I took responsibility of my life, or at least tried to start to.
Yeah.
Then I started trying to find like-minded people that I kind of wanted to be like.
Yeah.
Because the type of person I wasn't great. At least that was my opinion of it now. Right?
And this was only a couple of years ago.
Actually, 5.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. So I started thinking, okay, how do I become a better person? How do I do things better? How do I do life better? Right?
Yeah, how do I do life better?
And so I started meeting people, started educating myself, podcasts, reading books, talking to people that maybe I wouldn't talk to.
Yeah.
Because my ego was out of control. I thought it was hot shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, why would I talk to you? So I started thinking, okay, maybe I should start talking to people that I normally wouldn't talk to.
Yeah.
Start doing that. And then start opening up my mind a bit more. And then, so I met a few cool people that really helped along the way. And one of the things that I really expedited the process was, okay, purpose. So once I got to a place where I was like, okay, now I can kind of start moving in a positive direction. Okay, what's my purpose? So I defined my purpose. So I'd say from if someone's starting, they got to do 33 days, and if you're going to focus on 33 days, figure out what's your purpose and what does that mean. That means why do you want to start fresh again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
Light this puppy
Let's
up.
light this up. Okay. There you go. So it's so funny. As I was lighting this up, I just started feeling my arms shaking from the 1,000 push-ups. If you don't mind giving me a little water, brother, that'd be really appreciated. But yeah, man. Okay, so I love what you're saying. So purpose. So I just feel like, look, this is actually a card game that I designed called Purpose. Okay, and the reason why I was driving in Montreal, and during the time where there was the lockdowns and all of that, I felt like a lot of people are feeling alone, very alone, and so this download came to me to create a game that was going to allow people to feel more connected and connected to purpose. So this game allows you to do that through some different questions. Would you like to get a card here?
Let's do it.
All right, top or bottom? Top. All right. Which relationships are you currently neglecting?
So that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I'm not neglecting any relationships at this time that is not serving me in the direction that I need to go in. So for me, what does that mean? Do I have a great relationship connection with, let's say, family members? No, not necessarily. But right now, I don't need that to be my priority. So we can shift those priorities as we need, right? So I'm under for the last 5 years, I've been hyper-focused in trying to achieve a certain goal. And that's the priority. That's the relationship. And, when I'm done achieving that goal, then I can reallocate and restructure things to incorporating maybe relationships that might be lacking a little bit.
Yeah. So the bottom question, you want me to light it up again?
Yeah, sure.
So the bottom one says, what are 3 values that you live by? I'm actually just very curious to hear that. Let me light this up for you. Thanks, brother.
What values? I try to do the right thing whenever I can. So I'm not sure if that's a value or not, but like a righteous sort of direction.
Would you say honor?
Well, loyalty is a value, and I
Yes.
would say that's super important for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say honor is a good one. I value leadership.
Leadership.
Yeah. Not to say that I'm good at it, but I value it, and I want to be a better person so that I can, I don't know, lead by example maybe.
Yeah.
And be someone who really is focused in that space as much as I possibly can, because you know the reality is not a lot of people really focus on that kind of stuff. And what's required to be an actual quote unquote leader.
Yes. Yeah.
And so for me, there's a lot of things involved in that, and it might be very different than what people might think it is.
Okay. What I find really fascinating is you told me that it's only been a couple of years that you feel like it's opened up this whole new perspective about doing things at such a high degree, you know? How did that happen? What was your experience on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, what started the journey was me going through a divorce and wanting to figure out how to do things better. And then I think I always had, look, actually not just me, I think everyone has the capacity to be amazing. Everyone does. But I think they get slowed down by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, personal issues or whatever. So for me, I've always had pretty high level of anxiety and depression most of my life.
Yeah.
I've like struggled a lot. And so I would drink or do other stupid shit that I probably shouldn't have done, or shouldn't, you know, have done as much as I did, right? But for me was trying to figure out who I am, like fundamentally, and then just leaning into that. Now that sounds kind of weird, finding out who you are, but the way you see me today is very different than you would have seen me 6 or 7 years ago. I would have probably scared everyone in here 7 years ago. Not trying to, but there was an intimidating vibe to me because I was a bit bigger and I didn't want to talk to people. And if I thought you were saying something that was something I didn't really like, you would know very quickly. And so, but that's not the right way to be, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was doing a lot of that stuff because I was presenting myself as someone I thought other people thought I was, rather than being myself. Right. So now that I'm being myself, I'm quirky, man. I'm a freaking nerd. I like really weird things sometimes. So I was always ashamed of being myself and scared and all that kind of stuff. Now that I'm actually just doing shit that I want to do and think about and express myself in ways that I want to express myself, it's a lot more comfortable. But it took me time to get here.
How did you break down the ego for you?
It's a constant battle, man.
Yeah.
For me, it's a constant battle because my ego is quite significant. Yeah. And so I have to constantly be thinking about other people all the time. Like, be in service mode all the time. Otherwise, I'll be like, fuck everybody. Yeah. Like, it's just the way I am. Yeah. I have a neurotic sort of mental state where I'm looking at negative rather than positive often. So I see gaps in everything. Now, it's benefited me because if I see a gap in something, I'm like, we can fix that and improve it.
Yes.
But, you know, it's finding that balance where you're not destructive on yourself.
Right.
And so for me, I was destructive most of my life, so I had to figure out, okay, I got to be service-oriented, because if I'm service-oriented, I'm not thinking about my own garbage, I'm thinking about other people. So that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, I had low confidence, but I presented like I had a ton. I had low self-worth, but I presented like I had a lot.
Wow, yeah.
So there was a lot of like negative things going on in my head. So how did I break free of those things?
Yes.
I had to do really challenging things for myself.
Yeah.
And it's not just physical things. Like, all the things that I wanted to kind of do have been challenging. You know, public speaking, going, like in May 9th, I'm keynote speaker at a charity event. There's going to be 1,000 people there.
Wow.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because I've done things that are challenging.
Yes.
So for me, 5 years ago, if you said you're going to be standing in front of 1,000 people talking about your story, I'd be like, fuck that. Yeah. No, I'd be scared. Yeah. But I've done so many things now over the last 5 years that have shown that have built my self-worth, that have built my confidence, because I've observed myself do challenging things and be somewhat successful in them. So that's what levels people up. So I think people may need to start engaging in life and doing things that will test them.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be physical. I mean, read a freaking book, that's hard.
Yeah.
Like, do something.
Yes.
And I think that's what's helped me.
You had this almost like this moment where now you started doing these feats that really pushed you, and you always knew inside of you that you had some of that, right? Is that what it was?
I don't know. It was my ego.
It was ego.
My ego is like,
Yeah.
I can do that. But I didn't know anything about running.
So it was only 5 years ago? You would say 5
I
years ago?
started running 5 years ago.
It was 5 years ago when you started doing things that were really like big time. Because doing 42K in a day for most people is and doing that like it's nothing, right? Like obviously you have to show up every single day, but you're now in a whole different league.
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably approaching outlier.
Yes, outlier perspective. And I right now feel like it's like, okay, what if I, from my own thing, it's where will that take me?
Where do you want it to take you? Because where do you want to be?
Yeah.
I ask those questions myself.
Yeah.
I sometimes sit by myself a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? With no one around.
So important.
And I'm just kind of reflecting on things and where I want to be. Man, I want to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, how do I do those things? And I start. So you have to be curious, right? If you're not curious, you're not going to engage. So it has to start with curiosity. If you're curious about things, like, man, the reason why I showed up because I was curious today. I didn't really want to because I just don't feel comfortable around people I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
But I came because I'm curious.
Yeah.
And it's been so beneficial being here for the last couple hours. I can take a lot of value out of today. And we're not even done yet.
Yeah.
So you got to be curious, man.
Yes.
And you got to take, not risks, but you have to be adventurous.
Adventurous to life.
Right? Because if you're not adventurous, you're not going to engage your curiosity. And now if you're curious and you're adventurous, now you engage that curiosity. What develops when you start finding things? Passion.
Yeah.
Now you got something. Passion is what's the fuel to do the fucking hard thing.
You know that there's a movement that's being created for a greater good, right? Like that's what you spoke about, right? And to do that, well, I mean, you know what it is to do something and nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know what that is, like doing stuff and you're actually doing it from a good place and nobody cares.
No, but you know, okay, so good point.
Yeah.
Because like I was pretty bitter for a few years, and sometimes I do get a little agitated from time to. Look, I'm a Punjabi guy, South Asian.
Yeah.
I thought when I first started this, the Punjabi community would have been all over it. First person to call a South Asian Punjabi guy running across Canada, raising. For 3 years, no one gave a shit. No one cared. And I think they're maybe paying attention a little bit now. But you know what I'm starting to recognize, and it's probably the case with everything and a lot of people, until you do the thing, then people are going to care.
Yeah.
You have to do the thing.
And for long enough, like
Yeah, because I could say all the things, and how come people don't believe me? My word means something, but people hear shit all the time from people, and people don't do anything. So I think, for me, there's been a lot of that. But now I'm at a space where I don't really even care about that external validation anymore, man, because I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, look, I live in a basement suite, barely make ends meet, just struggling to do everything that I do. I've raised over $80,000 for charity. I haven't taken a dime from it. I pretty much live in poverty to do exactly what I'm doing. I could get a job tomorrow and make over 100K a year if I wanted to. But it's the purpose, and now I'm in this place where I'm like, I'm happy living in a basement suite. I'm cool, man. And if things come out of it, fine. But I'm doing something for me that feels worthy, right? And look, man, I raised $1 million this year. If I can raise $1 million for charity this year, I don't care, man. I can live in a basement suite the rest of my life. I don't give a shit. I don't care what that person thinks, or that person thinks.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Because they're living in a space that's chasing things. Mm-hmm. I'm creating something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lead from the front and do something that hasn't really been done in the way that I'm doing it. I'm not just running across the country, man. I'm trying to do what Terry Fox did 40-something years ago. Now, I might not be able to do it in the same capacity and probably won't do it as good as him. But that's what I'm trying to do. And all this other fucking shit's all noise, man. It's all white noise. How do you achieve something? You know how much money he's raised for cancer research since he died 40 years ago? Over $1 billion. How many lives have been saved? Countless, man. Countless number of lives. That's purpose. Getting a fucking click or a like is bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah, fuck. 100%. I am in total agreement with you that anything in life that you want to become great at takes time. And how I see this, it's like a lifestyle. So if you're able to, and look, the number of days and everything, you're creating a framework. That's how I see it. It's a framework that works for you. Now, this is something that I've seen work for me, and I've seen work for other people. And so it's like, but really it's about, what if every month, every 33 days, you can come up with something else that you're able to improve while continuously improving. Because if people think that in only this period of time your life is over, no, that's it. No, it's a continuous
No, I think
journey.
it's, listen, I can speak to it. It's a great idea.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I think any process, if someone's going to enter into, let's say 33, Ascend 33,
Yes.
look, I think all of it's good, man. I think it's good to get people thinking. It's good to get people active. It's good to get people starting on a journey.
Yeah.
Right? Now, over a 33-day period, I'm sure that you have community, and then you'll be engaging with people and having conversations and to ensure that they continue moving. Accountability. So once you have accountability and you have a process, I think it's good, man. I think it's awesome to get people, because sometimes people need things to activate them. I did.
Yeah.
You know,
What activity do you?
I started running to stay alive. I was in a very, very bad place. I only started running just so I wouldn't fucking do anything, right? So I was extremely depressed. I like in a place where it's not pleasant, right? And I wasn't a runner, so I couldn't go to jiu-jitsu or lift weights because of the pandemic. You know how that was, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I do, man? And so I picked up Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins' book. I read the first 2 chapters, and then I put the book down. I was like, I'm good, man. And I grabbed a pair of shoes, and I just started running. I wanted to do something hard. I interpreted the first 2 chapters incorrectly. I thought he meant physical hard things. Despite that, I started running. 5K, super slow. Still started the process, kept training. Then I started seeing some progress. Fortunately for me, I understood consistency of effort with physical stuff. So within about 3 months, I was like, okay, let's see if I can run 21 kilometers. I pushed myself, ran outside, ran 21K. Wasn't pretty, it was ugly, it wasn't fast, it was just, I was out for 3 hours and I did it. That helped me with self-belief, self-worth, and confidence. I never thought I could do that, so I did. Then I kept moving, kept pushing. February of 2021, I was running about 10K a day at that time, within, under a year. Okay, cool. Then it was like, summer rolls around. I'm like, okay, maybe I can do something to raise some money for charity. So November of 2021, I ran 100 kilometers. I ran from Chilliwack to the Vancouver airport, raised $21,000 for charity. And that's really what opened up my eyes. I was like, fuck, that feels good, man. But I didn't know how to get to that next level. So, November 7th, I ran 100K. November 8th, I was even more depressed than I was a few days before that, because I didn't know what to do. All my friends of 18 years, law enforcement, everyone was ghosting me. No one was communicating with me. I was pretty much isolated. I just did something no one could understand. Why are you doing all these things?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man, I'm alone. And when I'm saying alone, it was alone, man. I was by myself. And so I was searching for someone to connect with or people to connect with. So after I ran that 100K, I met a guy through social media who was a veteran. He connected on social. He was just communicating. And then we became kind of friends, but we never met in person. And he was friends with some of the people that I knew of. So this guy was a retired Tier 1 operator. You ever heard of JTF2? Oh, I'm gonna blow you guys' mind. JTF2 is Tier 1, and Delta Force in the United States is the equivalent. SEAL Team 6 is the equivalent. So JTF2 is that for us here in Canada.
Okay.
So this guy was a plank holder. A plank holder is someone who was selected to be on that team when it was first created in 1993. So he was a founding member of this specialized unit of savages. Right?
Nice. Wow.
So I knew what JTF2 was. I kind of understood he was a sniper, he was an assaulter, he was airborne, he was 2 command, like all the crazy sort of military things you can imagine, right? So I met with him when he was in transit. So in December of 2021, there was a snowstorm here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I was at the airport at that time. And his flight he lives in Rosslyn, BC, which is about a 7-hour drive or a 2-hour flight or really an hour flight, but you fly to Castlegar, flights are canceled all the time when it's snowing. Yeah. So his flight was canceled. And he throws up in his stories, he's like, hey man, he just puts up in his stories out here, my flight's canceled, anyone want to join up for a coffee? So I hit him up, I was like, yeah, let's go. So I met up with him. And so he he's like 61, 62 now. He was probably about 58 when I met him. And so I sat with him for about 3 hours. We were just having a conversation. And then from there, I was like, oh shit, I don't know anything. Because I was just sitting with someone who has done all the things, not just from a military perspective. He's had 7 different careers, and he excelled at the highest level in all 7, right? So, and I worked in law enforcement for 18 years, so I interrogated people from time to time. So my risk assessment and assessing people in a short period of time is quite good. You give me 30 seconds, I can figure things out pretty quickly. So I knew I had never spoken to someone like that before. And I've spoken to thousands of people at work, right? So I'm like, okay. So we finished this conversation 3 hours later, and I was like, hey man, you cool with us continuing to have these conversations? He was like, yeah, if you think it'll help. I was like, yeah, I think it's gonna help, man. So for basically 2 months, almost every single day, we Zoom called each other with no time limit. Like hour, 2, 3, 4, whatever it was. And so through that process, I learned about what I wanted to do, and I learned what's actually possible for an individual. Because you can hear all things, people talk about money all the time, man. I don't really give a shit about money. I really don't. I care about purpose and meaningful things, and this guy had done all kinds of stuff that I didn't even think humans could do. So then I'm talking to this guy, and he starts showing me some stories. He's like, okay, after the military, he was in JTF2, he retired, and you know, for people to really understand what that means is he was in the military for whatever, 20 years. He couldn't tell anyone what he'd done for 10 years because JTF2 was a secret. So he leaves the military and people are like, well, can tell. So it's like really covert. He ends up going to school again, starts learning computer science, became an engineer. Then he started teaching that subject at a university. And then he wrote a textbook on that subject.
Yeah.
And then after he did that for a couple years, he left that, went to international private security, did that for a bit to make some money.
Yeah.
And then he met his wife, got married. Wife's an engineer, she's a savage. And then, you know, he ended up having a kid, and he's like, okay, I'll stop the international private security because it's dangerous. And then he had a boy, and then they moved to Calgary, and then they opened up a coffee shop, a second coffee shop, right? So he ran this coffee shop while his wife's working, and it was within a year, it was the #1 second cup franchise in North America out of 200 franchises. He did that, he sold that, and started doing something else. So he stayed at home, became a stay-at-home dad for 2 boys.
About excellence, right?
So that's what JTF2's motto is, the relentless pursuit of excellence. Deeds, not words. So I live by these words now. Deeds, not words.
Deeds, not words.
Yeah, people have words all day, but no one has any action, right? It's all about what you do today. Did you earn your spot today? You didn't? Okay, see you later. It's about earning your spot every single day. So how do you earn your spot every single day? Fucking getting to work and doing shit every single day. So he ended up doing this coffee shop, sold it, then he became a stay-at-home dad, whatever. Then he started riding mountain bikes. He was living in Calgary, so he started riding mountain bikes. Then he started really pushing the pace and started doing races. Mm-hmm. So he started doing these races called 24-hour solo mountain bike racing. So you're in the mountains riding for 24 hours, just ripping. He became world champion in that sport, and then he eventually, people were like, who the hell is this guy? And so people started hitting him up to coach. So he ended up coaching hundreds of athletes all over the world, 6 world champions and a few other types of exceptional elite performance right? So he did that, and eventually he did that for 15 years, became an elite performance coach for elite athletes all over the world. And then, long story short, I learned that anything is possible through my friend Sean Taylor if you're willing to put in the effort and you have purpose behind it. There's nothing special about him other than he's probably got an IQ that's pretty high, right? But other than that, it's just relentless work, man. He's not a jacked guy. Like, he was probably like 150 pounds when he was on JTF2. It's not a big dude or anything.
Yeah.
But it's about relentless pursuit of excellence, working your ass off, trying to be the best you can every single day, doing your best, and that's it. Deeds, not words, man. People have a lot of this. No action.
How do you take someone who is in a position of like listening to that and to say, okay, I get it. Yes, I know I need to work hard, but like, what do I do? How do you take someone that's right there? Because you were there. I was. We've all been there in a certain
Got to be
point.
inspired, man.
Yeah, and he inspired you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I was inspired.
Yeah.
I heard that and I was like, what? I was like, okay, I was searching for knowledge, man. I was a dude searching for knowledge. I'm a Sikh. That's my faith, right? The word Sikh means student. Now, I'm not really religious, but I'm trying to search for things, trying to learn, man. And I met this guy. I was like, okay, give me all the fucking wisdom, man. Tell me everything. And I was listening. And my ego was such that no one else on the planet could have done what he did because I wouldn't have listened to anybody because I was better than everyone, I thought, in my head, right? So anytime I'd have a conversation with him, he'd be like, he'd say something and I'd try to argue and he'd be like, oh, tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, fucking can't, man. Okay. It is what it is. It's a service-oriented mindset, right? Because if you're doing everything for yourself, it becomes a challenge. At some point, you get to a point where, like, what's the point? If you're doing it for others, it's endless fuel if you do it the right way. Because, like, then I'm thinking about my team. I'm thinking about my friends. Like, whatever it is, right? However you want to, like, in the playoffs in hockey, why do some teams do better than others, even if they're not a better, better players on it? Their team is cohesive. They're doing it for the other person. They're really getting after it. So once you kind of have a service sort of mindset, you can really use that as fuel to continue moving in a direction that's really not fun. Like to learn something, be excellent at something, isn't always fun. It's unpleasant. Right? I had to find ways to activate myself, right? And for me to be activated, I have to find something greater than me. So I just want to be the best version of myself so that I can impact other people around me and then affect permanent positive change. So that's just scaled over time. I never thought in a million years I'd be at this stage right now where I'm about to run 100 kilometers a day in a few months and potentially raise over $1 million. That's fueling me. I'm like, okay, how do I do that? How do I make that happen? How do I ensure that? So like I can set the goal, but then you have to reverse engineer how to achieve that goal. I can just set the goal and be like, okay, I'm just going to keep training however I train. No, you got to reflect every single day how to improve it. So now if I set the goal of $1 million supporting 4 charities, 20% to each charity, okay, now I can reverse engineer. Now to plan something logistically across the country to run and create a documentary, video, all the things, I'm one dude doing everything. So how do I figure this out? Okay, now I can, if I create something where there's $1 million in charity, I incentivize these charities now to offload some work to them. So it's thinking outside the box. So the service is like an underlying theme or a through line that always is there that allows me to get activated in a way that just really pursues excellence.
How much is fear like
every day? I mean, yeah, man, if you're not like I have the level of imposter syndrome I have is ridiculous. And I think anybody chasing anything or trying to do something has it. Because you don't think you're worthy or you're incapable or whatever. Good. Because now that'll keep you honest. And that's going to keep you moving in a direction where you're going to keep learning. So people, when they have that imposter syndrome and fear, people quit. And people get scared and people don't pursue it because of the fear and the comfort. Oh, I get paid $100K a year or $150K a year. Why would I sacrifice all these things for something that may not happen? Like there's zero.
And you might fail really in publicly too.
Yeah, look, there's no certainty I'm going to do all the things that I'm saying I'm going to do. I'm just going to do my best, and we'll see what happens. Right? And I think that's what I want to do. I used to be in a more of a proving mindset. I need to prove myself. Now I'm less of that and more of like I just want to demonstrate how I want to be to others, demonstrate how I think things should be done for me, and like. Anyways, I want to demonstrate rather than prove. And proving's more of a negative sort of energy to it, right? I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm going to fucking prove everyone. Okay, or I can demonstrate how things should be done.
Do you get more motivated people that do not believe in you? And it's that element of like, these people don't believe in you, and so now it's like you're proving them wrong? Or do you get more inspired by people that are like, hey, I'm rooting for you? Or how do you see
I
that?
remove external validation, either negative or positive, as much as I can, because that's white noise.
Okay, nice.
It's white noise, I think, because like, if someone's chirping, why is that going to help me? And if someone's saying positive things, cool, I can say thank you and have gratitude.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really change what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just feelings. And feelings come and go. So how do I stay consistent?
Fleeting.
It's discipline and conviction to my purpose.
Yeah.
Everything else is white noise.
Man, I'm just grateful for the conversation.
Me too, man.
Really, I'm grateful for the conversation because I believe we're mirrors to each other in different times of our lives, and it's inspiring to hear your story and also just the truth that you're sharing, all of it. You know, not just, okay, this is what I'm doing, look at everything I'm accomplishing, but this is exactly where I was at. And I think that's the part that showcasing that distance is powerful. And also, like, now seeing where it is that we can take it. And one of the questions that you asked me was, why do you want to pursue that level of excellence, that limitless, and really taking the time to ask yourselves those questions is powerful. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit with myself in that, and I'm gonna let you know, because I'm feeling right now it's like I have a opportunity to see how far I can go, but the deeper question is, why do I want to do that, and who do I want to become?
And why do you want to go that far?
Yeah.
And so, no, awesome, man. I'm really happy that anything that I might have said have been positive for you. Look, this has been a positive experience for me. And so it's been a two-way street today. You know, I have an Instagram account, such.in.motion. Website's coming in the next few weeks, maybe another month. And everything will be on there. So if anyone wants to make a donation, anyone wants to support, please follow my Instagram account. I have a YouTube channel. People can go there and subscribe. And any donation that anyone gives, smaller or big, gets a tax receipt. So we issue tax receipts for anybody who's wants to support the journey. And, you know, I encourage people to follow along, because I think this will be a fun journey for people to track, and you know, maybe with a bit of positivity we can do something for the entire country and galvanize a group of people together, and who knows, maybe we'll make history.
Absolutely. So guys, part of Ascend is all about how can we ascend. Like, someone is here sharing their thoughts, their wisdom, their experience at the end of the day. So how you can support the mission is extremely appreciated, valuable. One of the things that I would love to do, like I said to you, is once you arrive to Montreal, I'm giving you my commitment that wherever I'm doing in that period of time, I'm going to go to Montreal, and it would be great to see my family and all that at the same time, and run with you, brother.
Yeah, man.
And here's the thing, I do not feel like running right now either, and we go deeper into that, but I so want to support that mission, and anything that I can do where I'm at in that journey and how much visibility I can bring, you know, humbly, I would love to do that. And I will try to get as many people to come on that journey and run with me, and run with you.
Well, listen, man, for me, it's if you come out, that's good enough for me, man.
Hey.
You come out 1 kilometer or 100, it's up to you.
I'm running the whole city with you.
Oh, no way.
For sure.
All
I'm
right.
going to run the whole city with you.
Bring it.
And we're going to run 33K together before that.
Done. Yeah.
Brother,
All right, man.
thank you so much for coming
It was
in.
awesome, man.
Guys, this is Ascend, and let's do it.